All right, how's everybody doing out there in the No Control Zone tonight? I'm so excited to have this guest with me tonight as my guest co-host. We have Nick Salter from Moose Lake Yager. I'm really looking forward to this because I think Nick is one of the guys that the majority of the league don't really know anything about. They don't even know what you look like, Nick. So, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm happy to be on. Excited to get going.
Yeah, I'm glad you. I'm glad you said yes. I was really excited last week when you said yes. And of course, that was before the old big hullabaloo broke up. But we'll talk a little bit about it later as well. So basically, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself? Like you were into the go-karts and that, like what your interests are, etc.
All right. So like you said, I'm one of the original. What was it? 14? Yeah, the original 14. And I was also 14, like you said, so I'm 21 now. I guess I'm the youngest by quite a good margin in the league.
Not really. I think Rick is around 24.
So okay. So
I guess maybe when you're 21, that seems like a lot.
Yeah, like a seventh of my life. Yeah. Okay.
3 years old is dirt like me. 3 years is nothing. So, yeah. So it's close.
Yeah. Like you were saying, I used to go-kart when I was younger, really into racing and stuff. Kind of got out of that as I got older. Gets expensive and stuff. I'm a Canucks fan. I'm sure some of the Bruins fans and stuff, when the rest of the Canadian teams will have something to say about that one. But it is what it is.
I think they have two Canucks fans. I think just you and your dad. Or is Renee a Canuck fan? Do you know? Oh, looks like Nick is froze on us here a little bit. We were having a little bit of connections, so.
All right, so like I was saying, I'm 21 now, one of the original 14. I've been in the league for 7 years, I guess. Like you were saying, I used to go-kart when I was younger, kind of got out of it in the last couple of years. Just gets expensive racing and stuff. What else? I'm a Canucks fan, so I'm sure Ryan Kelly and some of the other Bruins fans will have something to say about that. Yeah.
Screw the Bruins.
Yeah, that's what I like to say too.
So where were you born, Nick? Of course, I know these answers, but everybody else.
So I'm born and raised in Victoria. Dad grew up a Canucks fan too, so that's where I get that from.
So you've been in Victoria all your life.
Yeah, all 21 years.
Right. What are you doing for a job these days?
I work out in Saanich, if any of the guys are from the island and know where that is. I just work for like a small little like family-run cabinet company, basically. Okay. Yeah, kitchen cabinets, stuff like that. Yeah.
You also what was that thing you did with I think was it called the 4-H club when you built?
Yeah, 4-H.
Tell everybody about that. You did really good at that.
Yeah. So 4-H, it's like this big, like, I think it's actually like North America wide, but in Canada, it's like a nationwide thing. And then it gets broken down into smaller groups. And so I was part of like the South Malahat district, I guess. And then within each district, there's like smaller individual clubs. And it's kind of more so for like farm life and agriculture sort of stuff. So there's like a beef and swine club, lambs, goats, chickens, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But one of the deals, I wanted to go-kart really bad when I was like 9 or 10. And one of the deals my dad made with me was that I had to learn how to fix the engine and learn all that kind of stuff if I wanted to do it. So my grandfather, he's been into cars and fixing stuff his whole life. So he kind of took me under his wing and showed me some of the ropes of fixing engines and whatnot.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now you got that you can use at any time in your life,
Yeah.
And mechanic bills are brutal. You can
yeah.
Care of everything, right? Anyway, that you can. All right. So who would you say in the NCZ is your biggest rival?
I mean, obviously Dad and I. Any year, any year, yeah. If we're both contending one year, then there's always the rivalry.
Chirp.
Yeah. I used to live at home with them. Obviously, I moved out in the past couple of months, but Yeah, living at home with him was always, we'd always take jabs back and forth at each other. Other than that, I don't know. I
Yeah,
wouldn't really say.
well, it's 100%. Like he's definitely your biggest rival. I don't
Yeah,
know if I have a rival other than me and Al, maybe because we
yeah,
have a Founder Cup going and we're good friends and everything. So that might be what I do
yeah.
for that. So who? Okay, I remember. Okay, we talked last week and you told me you were having problems trading. So who would you say your best trading partner is with right now?
Um, Dad again is obviously an easy one. I also really like trading with Dean, the Rangers, Colwood Rangers or whatever his team name is. I just feel, yeah, I've known him my whole life as well, so it's always easy talking to him. I feel like we value players pretty similarly and everything, so yeah.
I got to be pretty good to trade with, I think.
Yeah, we've only made one though, so. And the
So,
one trade we do make together, you get the best player and you take my third.
that's not fair. It works for me every time. I'll tell you that right now for sure.
Fair enough.
So basically, when I did the interview with Ryan Kelly from the Bruins, he singled you out as his toughing trade person. Now, I think I'd kind of like you to respond to this because basically the way a lot of people look at it is it takes nothing to just look at it and delete it. You don't even have to discuss it, right? So,
Yeah.
but also you've grown from the time you were 14 years old till you're 21 now, and you're talking to me about how you want to be more involved with everybody in the league, and that you're probably more into the league now than you were when you were 14.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, I was 14, yeah, it's hard to be super committed to something when you're a kid. As for being difficult to trade with, I don't know. The trade you and I made, I kind of just throw it an offer, and I figured you're either gonna, worst you can do is say no. So, you come back with, you say like, oh yeah, I like the trade, but I want the third. For anybody who doesn't remember, because there's been 50 million trades this season. What was it? Kucherov for 4 years, who's out for this year basically.
Yeah.
And then you got my third as well.
Yep.
My third rounder, and then you gave me Pacioretty for 2 years, Jordan Eberle for 1 year, and Nolan Patrick for a year.
I really didn't want to get rid of Pacioretty.
Fair enough. Yeah.
That guy's freaking awesome. However, you're in a possible cup year, right? So
yeah,
Kucherov's not going to help you now. So
no, he isn't.
Maybe in the long term, I may look like I ended up winning this trade, but for this year, if you win up, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah. So it works both ways for us. You win future, and I mean, who knows? Maybe Kucherov comes back from injury and he's not the same player, and I'm sitting there laughing, saying,
"That's true.
Oh, glad I got rid of him." Yeah. As for being difficult to trade with, I think I definitely did some of that to myself when I was younger. I was pretty bad for a couple of seasons in the league, so I just wouldn't check the site and everything. And I was 14, 15. I didn't check my email either.
We have a lot of guys who do that though, that weren't 14 years old. I don't know.
Yeah.
Would you say now you check the site once a day, at least?
If I don't check it, every second day at least.
Or at least every second day. So basically, if anybody, like if you went to Ryan Kelly and said, call me, and he sent you an offer, you would get back to him within the 2 days for sure. Or more likely.
Yeah. And obviously if something comes up, then life happens, but yeah.
Right. Okay, well that's awesome. So who do you think is gonna win this year? Is it you?
I think I have a good team. Obviously. I mean, I've been up there at the top all season. Like you've been saying, it's always hard to pick against Rene. He's got the formula down. He knows what he's doing. I don't know. If I can, I know you got Bob, so maybe a trade can happen there, and I can solidify my goaltending.
Can you give away all the good stuff though already?
Yeah, more or less. I got Dubé and
Talk to me.
yeah.
Talk to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if I can pick up a goalie,
Hey,
yeah.
This is breaking news, people. You're watching a possible trading transaction go down live on
Wow.
Week in the Zone. Well, I think you, Renee, Dan, Al.
Yeah, the top 4 teams. Yeah.
Best shot at it. I could see any one of the 4 of you guys winning it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's really hard to say this year with code and everything too. I mean,
yeah,
you could run through the first 2 rounds of the playoffs and then you get into the finals and you're looking like the sure favorite. And
a 4th place team could easily win the cup this year because if COVID or whatever strikes the right way for them or whatever, you never know. I mean, we'll talk about it later in the podcast, but holy smokes, poor Dean. He has been nailed for 3 solid weeks. And I think all his guys are finally back. So we should start to see the real Rangers team. Plus he made a trade, so that should help him. All right.
Yeah, so, Dean's been hammered for sure.
Yeah. So basically that is Nick Salter. We got to learn a little bit about him, a little more. I hope everybody is willing to give second chances when it comes to trading. I really want everybody to be able to trade with anybody out there and be basically good people. Be civil about it. It's honest. So anyway, we're going to break into it now, so that'll end the interview. So let's talk about this week in the zone. I'm your host, TK. Nick's going to be co-hosting with me. See you in a second. All right, so we're going to break down the week now. We're going to start off with the Bossy division as we take alternating divisions to start with in the week. And no change up top in the Bossy division. Dan the Man, New Brunswick Bears are running wild up on top in the Bossy division. They're currently with a record of 9-1-2 for 20 points. They had a solid week. They were 2-0. And the Bears beat the Bruins 6-1. And they just squeaked by the Rangers 4-3.
Yeah, he's got a solid team. Like we were saying, I think he's one of the top 4. He's in there for sure. Like you said, good week. Beating the Suds, it should happen for most of the top teams ideally. But yeah, he had 29 assists, 39 points. No wins though. I don't know what happened there.
Goaltending shit on him, I think.
Yeah, apparently. I mean, I don't know, 6 save percentage is okay, but
could have been COVID. Let's see how he did in the Rangers game that was a little tighter. So Dean actually should have won this game because I don't think Vasilevsky has had a game under 900 all season. He only played 1 game, and Carolina was on fire.
7 o'clock.
Or else Yes, it's 7 o'clock. Thank you very much. So he shouldn't have been. Like, Vasilevsky's usually up around 9:30 or whatever. So normally he would have got the 2 points for the win with Tampa and like a 9:30. So add 2 goals to Dean's team and take 2 goals away from the Bears. And that's what I mean. So that was the last thing to screw up Dean this week was
Vasilevsky shit in the bed.
And the goaltending, only getting 1 game in. So that hurt him really bad. We'll talk about that when we get to the Rangers, though, as we're currently sticking with the Bossy division. So in second place, and they're up 1 spot, as I kind of expected they would be, is the Harrison Lakers, sitting at 9-3 for 18 points. They're only 1 win behind the Bears. They currently went up a spot this week as they went 2-0. With the Lakers winning 5-2 over the Rangers, and they smoked the Bruins 7-0.
Again, what can you say about Renee that you guys haven't already said in the past 2-3 weeks? He's just got the formula down. I think we could all learn something from him. Again, another pretty easy victory over the Suds, which should be happening for most of the top teams.
Should be happening for most of the bottom teams as well. That is one weak ass team right now. except
Yeah.
the bench is pretty strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Once again, we're talking too much. We're talking about the Langway division instead of Bossy.
yeah, I don't know. I think this game's a little closer than it looks. I mean, the save percentage is neck and neck. Renee just squeaked that one out.
Yeah, like I said, not a normal week for Vasilevsky either. So that was
Wait, how did Renee win that? Oh, eight. Oh, I got the numbers mixed up. I see. Yeah.
So it was 5-2. So he beat him handily. So he beat him handily in points, got beaten handily in penalty minutes.
Yeah.
And then actually pretty handily in assists and goals as well. The plus minus was close. So
yeah,
the plus minus or the save percentage changed. It could have been a different game.
Yeah, I agree.
But anyway, no surprise that Renee is back up in second place. I don't know how this guy does it year after year after year. It's amazing. I mean, he has 3 cups already.
Yeah, I don't know. He just drafts well, and his prospects all pan out. So
yeah. Never hurts when the prospects pan out. That's for sure.
No, it definitely does not.
So dropping into third place, so which means they're not really in third place, but they're tied for second place. But last week they were all alone in second place, so it's kind of like dropping the spot as the Calgary Oilers. The Oilers sitting 8-2-2 for 18 points, and this week they had a 1-0-1 record. They started really slow at the start of the week and then picked up steam as the week went on. But the Oilers easily handled Sealand 7-0, and they had a very tight, tough game with the Wolfpack. We'll talk about the Wolfpack later, but the Wolfpack had a very strong week. So the Oilers ended up tying the Wolfpack. For the longest time, it didn't even look like Blake would get a point out of it. So yeah, the Oilers 3, Packers 3.
Yeah, Blake, talk about going all in. Like, wow. He's put together quite a team, really turned it around from where it looked like he was going to be. But yeah, he is all in this season. I think he'll be sending out the email to fans next season saying it's going to be a rough couple of years. But yeah, kudos to him.
I honestly thought they would be a lottery team this year. And then he just started wheeling and dealing.
And he's turning the team around. But you look at his team, and it's like 60% 1-year guys, and then like 30% 2-year guys, and then the rest 2 or 3 guys he's got a couple of years on. But yeah,
that's the Wes Thomas strategy that he's passed. He's passed on to Blake. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but check out this game between the Packers and the Oilers here. Like 46 points for the Pack and 40 for the Oilers.
That's a lot of points. Yeah.
That was an awesome game. Awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of power. Tied
close. It's close too. I mean, assists obviously could have gone either way. Pims.
That's a percentage.
Yeah, right, neck and neck. Pims 5 penalty minutes. I mean, that can go either way too. One fight or something. Yeah, close game. Blake put up 10 wins. He must have gotten a shutout or 2 then.
What's that?
10 goalie points.
Oh yeah, for sure. If not,
I don't know what happened there.
Well, let's take a look at his goaltenders. Who's his goaltenders? Which side? He's Georgiev and Varlamov. I do believe they both had a shutout last week. Yeah, so that's good, strong goaltending there, for sure, for the Pack. So the Pack really made a statement again, but once again, we're starting to zip on over to the Langway division. I know all you Langway people will like that, but I'm trying to keep it in my division for a while here in the Bossy. All right, so finishing up in 4th place and actually dropping a spot this week is the East Coast Brewers. They had a rough week. They're in the standings right now are at 7 wins, 4 losses, 1 tie, solidly in 3rd place with 15 points. But for the week, they went 0-1-1 and had to make a miraculous comeback in the last day to beat the Mustangs. So that'll tell you how bad the week was for East Coast Brewers right there. So, but at least they salvaged a point, which was kind of big for them. They tied the Mustangs at 3-3, and the Capitals smoked the East Coast Brewers 5-2.
Yeah, I mean, Al's always going to have good weeks. I think last week he had a kind of rough week and still pulled out 2 wins. So not much you can do about losing to Al there. But yeah, tying with Dad, the Mustangs there. Yeah, that shows you you're having a pretty rough week. Actually, Dad put up quite a week though.
He had a great week. He had a great week, and
yeah, kudos to him.
Once again, we'll get to the Langley division.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has a decision to make right now. We'll talk about that when I get there.
Yeah.
But it was a bad week for the Brewers. I honestly didn't think they were going to get a point this week, and they've been so strong lately.
Yeah, beat me. I mean,
yeah, just one of them. That's
happened
for you, right?
Yeah, 37 PIMs though. That's a lot. That's impressive.
Yeah, he had a couple of guys do some stupid things, like got a
couple misconducts.
5-10, I think there's 17 right there. Another major and stuff like that, I think, as well. But if your Dad's goaltending had been a little bit better here at 894, Keith wins this game.
Yeah, close one. 1 assist, could have gone either way too.
Like points is close, so
yeah, goals, assists, obviously.
Yeah, just 1 assist. I didn't even realize. Yeah, 1 assist would have done it.
Plus minus, that a 9 swing in the plus minus. It's kind of close.
That's the crapshoot one that we all.
Yeah. It can really go either way.
Go for a crapshoot category of plus minus. Nobody ever knows what's going to happen with that. So anyway, the Brewers and the Capitals were highlighted as the game of the week to watch, and I was watching it closely. And I'll tell you, for the first 4 days, it was super tight, and they were scoring and they were doing everything right, both teams, and it was pretty entertaining. And then by about day 5, Al just took off.
Yeah, Al pretty dominantly won that one. Not much more to say really.
If you look at Dono's numbers here, they're still pretty respectable if you're going up.
Al just
against other teams, right?
Yeah, Al just had a great week again.
All right, so moving on from Dono, that's going to take us to 5th spot in the Bossy division, and this person did not move. It's Flying Colors. They're now 6-6, a 500 team for 12 points, and for the week they went 0-1-1. It was a rough week for them. They really needed to beat the Pack, but we'll talk about that in a second. And let's see, they played Sealand and beat them 5-1. So going 1-1 for the week. They're a 500 team. 1-1 seems to be good for them. I should point out about this, Nick, is that Flying Colors did hang on to the wild card spot this week.
Okay. So he's gonna have a decision to make, I guess, then, of really what he wants to do. Still in the wild card position, you're not out of it. Can definitely make a run. If ever there was a year to just sneak into the playoffs, then
that's right.
Who knows? This is it. So wow, that's a bit of a beat down there. 931 goaltending, that's pretty solid.
Yep.
Yeah. Plus 21 too. Wow, geez.
Yeah, I know that. And look at the Flying Colors, they have plus 14.
Plus 14, yeah, that's a great week. Like, what do you do about that?
Pluses.
Yeah.
Let's see who Garrett's goal. Oh, he had, Barlamont. Those 2 guys are going to get you some. Oh, no, that's got to be.
No, that was.
Back. So Flying Colors is.
Grubauer. Okay.
And Leonard was injured for the entire week. So.
Yes. Yeah, Flair's been starting.
Must have been 2 wins for Colorado. Got him up there. So the good news for Flying Colors is that they are still in the playoff spot. They're in wild card spot number 1. So Bossy Division still sporting 5 playoff teams right now.
Yeah, yeah. There's some good depth in that division too.
Yeah.
Seems like aside from you and I guess Wes, really, even Wes's team should be better, which I guess we can talk about when we get to him. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
know. He had unfortunate luck this week. We'll talk about it, but he still had a good week.
yeah,
Finally turning it around a little bit. Okay, so after the Flying Colors, we fall down into 6th spot, and once again we got the same teams, and this is where the Bossy Division really changes the big time. So unless the Flames can get out of it, but sitting in 6th spot where they were last week is Pitter Patter, and they are 4 wins, 7 loss, 1 tie for 9 points, and man, Pitter Patter, they can't have a worse schedule right now. They're drawing all the teams that are tanking. And so they're continually gaining points, which could make it tough to get down into the bottom 4 by the end of it, but still could do it. Anyway, that doesn't help his tank at all. So for the week, Pitter Patter ended up winning a game, and they went 1-1. They beat the Outlaws 4-3, and believe it or not, the Outlaws were winning this one for most of the week, but Pitter Patter came back and won it. I'm sure Steve wasn't happy with that. And then they played you, and beat you. You beat them 4-3. Let's check that one out. Now, where are you? Here, there you go, Pitter Patter. How's that one?
Yeah, this one came down to the wire. It was. This. I was pretty much down and out. Yeah, it was the plus minus. Who had a bad game? I want to say like some of his Montreal players were like -2 or 3 or something, and it was his Montreal players. And
well, they had a bad week.
Oh no, it was his Flyers on the last night. Pastrnak lit him.
7-3.
Yeah, 7-3 or whatever it was. Yeah, so they were all -2 or 3. So yeah, that one was a close one. I should have lost that, but
you had a rough week, even though it turned out all right for you. We'll talk about that once again when we get to the Langway division. So anyway, I took a look at Steve's team, and I think I haven't looked at his schedule. I don't know how many more week teams he can play, but he's pretty much played them all in the last, ever since his decision to rebuild. It's been one other soft team after another. So I got to think he's kind of worked his way through that, or must have worked his way through that. And I know I play him time before the year ends. However, I feel like I'm only playing 2 soft teams with Pitter Patter and the Bruins. Everybody else is competitive and strong. So I don't think this week turned out the way Steve wanted it.
Probably not. Now, if you're tanking, I don't think you ever want to be 500. I think the most you really want is like 1-1, really. Ideally 2-0, but yeah.
Up at 9 points now, so activity to drop down. However, there could be some help with the team that they're actually tied for in 6th spot, and that would have the Ottawa Flames of Fleury. They're 2-7-3 for 7 points. They had an excellent week at 1-0-1, and they lost once again. They lost a point to you. I guess it was Pastrnak that did it.
Yeah.
Flames ended up tying 3-3, but Flames had control of that game the entire week up until late Sunday night. Last game of the week.
Yeah, it was literally last game of the week. He had me beat, but somehow my guys did it.
Let's see here. Where'd you get him? Points. So that was close. That was Pastrnak right there for sure.
Yeah, Pastrnak helped, but it was actually Hughes and Besser.
Really?
It was Hughes and Besser that really did it in the Canuck game. Yeah, because I needed. I think I was down 3 assists, and all his guys were done for the week. I had Hughes Besser going in the Canucks Winnipeg game, and they got me 2 assists to tie. One more, and I would have won. But yeah.
Yeah, but it's funny how Pasternak helped you in other ways too. So he got you past in the goals at 13.
Yeah.
Plus his
Yeah.
helped with the points for you guys as well. So you had
Yeah.
two guys make major contributions on Sunday
Mhm.
for you. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on with Wes's team. I've looked at them on paper a couple times, and even at the start of the season, I was looking and thinking like, oh, like he could kind of go either way. If he decides to tank, he could be one of the bottom teams, or he could try and buy and be out there contending. But for whatever reason, he just sucks. His guys,
He has
yeah,
been fire, and it hasn't worked for him yet. He's just playing at
Yeah.
the wrong time and everything. This week was huge for him.
yeah,
Even for him to get a point against you is great. However, he had the opportunity to get 2 points, and he really needs that extra point right now.
yeah,
1-0-1 is great, especially with the schedule that he had. But I gotta think he needs a couple of 2-0 weeks at least back to back.
yeah, yeah. If he wants to make a run for the playoffs, he's got to be 6 or 7 points behind the final playoff wild card spot or something.
No, well, that would be Garrow at 12 points, so he's 5 points behind right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He needs a couple good weeks and some guys to fall.
I mean, it could happen, but
Yeah. Yeah.
you realize,
I mean, COVID.
yeah, we just went past the halfway point of the season, right? So there's only 2
Yeah.
actual games left for each team. So
Yeah.
it's now or never, as Tom Jones would say. It's now or never.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta get in gear.
Yeah, but definitely a positive sign for Wes last week. To pull out a tie against you, that's big for him.
Yeah.
That'll be the last time he plays you, so he doesn't have to worry about you anymore. Hopefully, Wes needs to hit the other tanking teams, which
Yeah.
he is this week. I think he did have one tanking team last week too, as well.
Yeah.
Which also beat the Outlaws 6-1. So. But positive result for Wes at 1-0-1. And now tied for 6th place. So technically Wes went up a spot. Who could be in 8th place and at the bottom of the Bossy division? Well,
I have no idea.
Once again, I don't know what's going wrong. I mean, look, I lost 7-0 to both teams. My record's 1-10-1 for 3 points. That's just horrible. Just horrible.
I think everything's going right for you, really.
Well, Schneider was in for 2 games last week and he did nothing. He just sat on the bench like a lazy bastard.
What a guy.
I got to get rid of Schneider. That was a little dangerous last week.
I do not want him.
Oh, you had him for the longest time though, but you had him in the good time, right? Yeah. And then did you end up buying him out?
Yeah, it was kind of like.
Or did you let him play out?
I don't remember. I don't think I did. I might have moved him with a.
Yeah.
I think I might have traded him somewhere with a year or 2 left on his contract or something.
Talk about a guy falling off the cliff.
But yeah, I had him like right when he was fresh on the Devils or whatever it was from Canucks. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you're doing wrong, Terry.
I don't know. Like, look at here. Well, goaltending really.
I mean, yeah, if you're losing to Devils.
Really, COVID, right? Right? God damn,
that was
COVID.
the killer.
Yeah.
That was the nail in the coffin for you.
Shucks. So yeah, your dad was gifted a couple of things there. But,
yeah, it was Al too. Al just laid a thumping on you.
Yeah, one might consider this a thumping, and you know what? This game is also the one and only game of the season for the Founder Cup. So I have to give congratulations to Al winning the Founder Cup on back-to-back seasons. Did it a solid way, 7-0, kicked the living piss right out of me. However, I'm predicting the worm will turn soon, and I'm coming for that Founder Cup. I'm coming for it, but up till now, congratulations, Al. Well done on your Founder Cup win.
Yeah, you're coming for your crown back.
That's right.
I predicted at the start of the week that you would. I predicted at the start of the week that you would be out 7-0. I mean, I was hoping.
Yeah,
I would like to try and chase him down, but
I remember.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
close.
The Islanders just couldn't pull it through.
Damn COVID with the goaltending. I tell you, that's just
Yeah.
killer for just a killer.
Terrible.
Yeah, that was awful. All right, so that basically takes care of the Bossy division. Let's take a look at the standings right here. So it looks like we've got the New Brunswick Bears at 9-1-2, Calgary Oilers 8-2-2, the Lakers at 9-3, Brewers 7-4-1, Flying Colors 6-6, good enough for a wild card playoff spot. Pitter Patter at 4-7-1. Flames at 2-7-3, and the lowly Islanders at 1-10-1. It looks like we've lost Nick for a little bit. He's frozen here. We've been having a little bit of problems with that tonight, so I'm just going to wait for him here.
Yeah, I don't really see this division changing too much. You might see the top three maybe flip somewhere, but I think those will be the top three by the end of the season. What order, who knows? I could see West climbing up, maybe squeaking into the last playoff spot if he stays hot, and some of the other guys get cold and run into some tough competition. And yeah, I see you finishing dead last.
Yeah, I think that definitely Pitter Patter and the Courtney Islanders are out of the equation. Steve's not going to be moving up, and I'm not going to be moving up. So basically, you still got 6 teams competing. You got the Flames and Flying Colors going at it for that last wild card spot, and so that could be interesting. And then, in another sense, Garrow's also fighting somebody in the Langway division. I'm not going to say right now because we'll talk about that in a second. So right now, Garrow's worried about somebody in the Langway division. The Flames are worried about Flying Colors, and there's a good matchup this week. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the games of the week coming up. So that's pretty much all we got for the Bossy division. We're going to change gears now and flip on over to the Langway. Okay, so that brings us over to the Langway division, and once again, still on top in the same position they were last week as the Living Skies Capitals. Not only are they on top in the Langway division, but they are also the cream of the crop of the no control zone right now. So Al had a great week going 2-0. The Caps beat the East Coast Brewers, which was one of the highlighted games of the week, which was very, very exciting for about first 4 or 5 days. And then Al laid the boots to Dono. And of course, Capitals had no problem beating the Islanders 7-0 in the Founder Cup, with congratulations going out to Al.
Yeah, Al, another great week. What can you say? I don't know. I think there needs to be a bit more of a rivalry. So Al, I think your team sucks.
There we go. I've been waiting for that. This was promised to me a week ago. Go for it,
buddy. No, I mean, Al does have a great team. I think my team is better. I think I'm going to kick the shit out of them in the playoffs.
There we go. Now we're talking.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, hats off to Al. Another two big wins. Another great week. 46 points. Yeah. What more can you say?
Yeah, he had no problem taking care of Dono. But like I said, for the first 4 or 5 days, it was pretty close. And then Al just which is funny too, because actually Dono had a surge at the end of the week too. But Al's surge was so much better than Dono's surge that it was good enough for him to take care of his Afghanistan fire, buddy.
Yeah, good week for Al.
Yeah, well done, Al. Holding on to position in the Langway division at top spot. And of course, in second place, well, that's none other than you, Nick. Moves like Jagger.
Excited to come on.
Oh, well, thank you. It's 8 o'clock now that we know that. All right, so sitting in second place in the Langway division is Moves Like Jagger yourself, Nick. Well done. You went 2-0 for the week.
1-0-1.
1-0-1 for the week. That's right. You had a big surge at the end to say both your games as you beat the Pitter Patter 4-3, and you beat the tied the Flames 3-3, and that's good enough for you to be tied for second place in the overall standings in the no control zone.
Yeah, I had a rough week. Nothing more you can say about it, really. The crazy weather storm down in Texas kind of screwed me a little bit, but I mean, Dean's gotten more screwed over the past 3 weeks, so I won't complain too bad. I was still able to pull out 3 points, so I'll take it, I guess. I would have liked took the 4 points, but
Oh,
what can you
absolutely.
do? Yeah.
That's just that's like an old hockey saying. That's just a sign of a good team when a good team can win when they play bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of what you did. You had a rough week, but you still ended up coming out 1-0-1, which only leaves you 2 points, one win away from Al. And we know there's got to be another showdown game between you guys coming up here.
I've already beat him once this year too, so watch out, Al.
Or you're his only loss?
Yeah, I'm the one that beat him.
Oh, I did not know that. Want to trash
Yeah.
a little more? Want to get this rivalry
going? I think I'll leave it for now.
I don't know. I think Al deserves a good trashing. Maybe I'll make a whole show about just trashing.
Full compilation from the season.
All right, so you're tied still for second overall in no control zone. You still got a real good shot at the CDS because you're only 2 points from that. But the next team that I want to talk about, this is pretty exciting news. This team really had a great week, and they needed to have this week because the competition they were playing, they needed to beat. So Port Elgin Wolfpack come up a spot and are now in third place in the Langway division. Their record is 5-5-2 for 12 points. For the week, they went 1-0-1. And in actuality, they almost deserved better fate than that. The Pack beat the Flying Colors 5-1. That was the big game for them. That was who they were fighting for the wild card spot. So to bring Flying Colors down a game and Flying Colors won their other game, so it was super important that the Pack took the Flying Colors down. But probably a little disappointing for the Wolfpack was tying the Flames at 3-3.
Yeah, hats off up here with Al and I in the actual playoff spots out of the contention for a wild card. That's always nice. You don't have to worry about it. However, I think Dean's right there. He's got a solid team. Seems like all his guys are kind of back from COVID and injury. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see those two go at it for the next couple of weeks and see who gets that final spot.
The air just seems better when you're up top, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's always nice looking down on all the
up here. Air's fresher, life's happier.
Yeah, I'm only smelling Al's ass, so I mean, it could be worse.
It's a sad situation, but I'm sweating out tanking. Like I'm feeling just as much pressure in tanking than I am in
tanking's stressful. You want to get that first overall pick. It really is a big deal.
It is.
Yeah, it can actually make a difference. So
well, not only that, it also helps your second rounder and third rounder and everything too.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Bo got a good one in on me when we made the trade. He went and grabbed my second. I kind of knew that my trade was going to help him move up probably into the playoffs and that. So he made a nice trade because I don't know if you remember, we just swapped second round picks.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get his, he gets mine. So that's if I end up getting first overall, then he's looking at 17th overall pick on that trade. So that works out really good for him.
Yeah. That's a good trade.
Yeah. And so that brings us to the fourth place team in the Langway division, and that is none other than the Colwood Rangers. Their record right now is 5-6-1 for 11 points. However, for the Colwood Rangers, they are not in a playoff spot currently. They had a rough week, 0-2. They lost to the Bears 4-3, which is a solid team, and they also lost to the Lakers 5-2.
Yeah, Dean's had a rough couple of weeks here, like we said. I feel bad for him, but I mean, at the end of the day, that's kind of what we all knew coming in with COVID this season. He does have a solid team, so I think he can get back up in the playoff fight and everything, and either get in the division's third playoff spot or maybe sneak in for a wild card.
Well, it wouldn't be a wild card for him. It would just be fourth place.
Oh, yeah, I guess, yeah. So
for him to get a wild card spot, he'd have to finish at the fourth place team. So it doesn't matter just as long as he gets fourth place.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
And like you said, anything can happen in the playoffs, right? So whether you're
if ever this was the year to just sneak into the playoffs.
I mean, could you
Yeah.
imagine if Al went the rest of the season with only one loss and ended up losing in the first round? Like, and that could
Yeah.
very well happen, all depending.
Yeah.
Like, I'm petrified for my tanking because I have a lot of I don't have a lot of bench spots. So
Mm.
I have a lot of solid players who are getting excess games at the end here.
At the end of the season.
I'm hoping,
Yeah.
I'm hoping those games go into our playoff season and not the end of the regular season. It could
Yeah. Yeah.
screw me up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And I mean, you have the fight for the playoff spot or for the picks. So yeah, you would want them in those extra games in the
for sure.
playoff time. Yeah.
Big time, help you out. So it
Yeah.
was kind of weird. So there last week, Garrow, the Flying Colors, was fighting Bo of the Wolf Pack for the wild card spot, and he was barely hanging on by a point. Now Bo gets by Dean, and so
Yeah.
now Garrow's fighting Dean, and once again, still ahead by 1 point. So it's been very interesting. But like you said, and I do believe this with the Mustangs were hit 3 weeks in a row. This is the first weeks they got their team back. So
Yeah.
I expect the Rangers to move up the ladder.
Yeah. I would too. Yeah.
All right, but how about fifth place? This team moved up a spot this week. None other than your dad, Mr. Keith of the Macaulay Mustangs. His record now is 4-7-1 at 9 points. Had a fantastic week. Great week, Keith, or was it a bad week? I don't know. It was 1-0-1, regardless how he felt about it. But he absolutely destroyed me, 7-0. I didn't have a hope. It was defenseless. There should have been a mercy rule on that game. Oh, yes. And then the Mustangs probably should have beat the East Coast Brewers as well, but they ended up getting that tie.
Yeah, I think if you asked Dad, he would say it was a bad week for him. I know he's definitely gone full rebuild. You can tell by the trades he's made this year. Yeah, you had a rough week, as you do most weeks apparently. So yeah, he took care of you, and then yeah, that Brewers game, that was a close one. Came literally down to the last couple games of the week, didn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was right there at the very end.
Yeah.
With,
So
East Coast Brewers. Like I said, when I was talking about when he played Al, he had a surge at the end of the week too, but
yeah,
the surge at the end of the week was just so much better than Dono. Dono didn't have a chance, but enough of a chance to catch the Mustangs for
yeah.
3-3.
I'm sure Dad would have preferred if he took that game from him actually, but yeah,
he's got his work cut out for him now to get into the bottom four.
Yeah, tanking's stressful, like we've been saying.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's frustrating as hell. Things happen, never happen when you're trying to win. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
Like getting Pasternak to score 3 goals for you on the last game of Sunday night. That shit doesn't happen. Well, it happened for you though, I guess, but it doesn't happen for me. I'll tell you that. I don't as if I'm tanking.
Yeah, Dad, he cannot be happy about that week.
I don't think he's happy at all. Anyway, last week the Mustangs were tied with Sealand, but they went up a spot. They're now in fifth place all by themselves. So that can only mean one thing. The Sealand Hockey Club has dropped the spot down into sixth place. The record now is 3-8-1 for 7 points. They had a horrible week at 0-2. The Oilers beat Sealand 7-0, and Flying Colors took care of Sealand 5-1.
Yeah, Sealand's definitely in a rebuild this year, so both those games kind of make sense. Blake's got a solid team, so he should be winning those games. And then who'd you say the other guy? Oh, Flying Colors, yeah.
He had a good week.
Yeah.
He had a good week.
Yeah.
He just got smoked by Wolfpack, that's all.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Wolfpack would have smoked most guys. So
a lot of guys this week.
Yeah, those games kind of make sense. It's how you'd expect it to play out more or less.
It's just kind of weird though with Sealand that they had such a strong week last week there too, and rather easily, and then so I thought they were on the go, and apparently not. They're just breaks are on again.
Yeah, I guess it'll be interesting to see where Sealand is at the end of the season. I would have to suspect it'll be like one of the bottom 2 or 3 spots in this division, but only time will tell.
Well, I tell you, I got to give kudos to the 7th place team because they have done an absolute
Oh yeah,
masterful job of tanking.
yep.
I thought when they started tanking, they had 3 wins, and I go, man, that's going to be pretty hard tanking now to get down into the Final Four. But what a masterful job! He's in the Final Four, and I can guarantee you, this is one of the teams that's staying in the Final Four. I'm still not sure I'm going to make the bottom 4. I'm still worried. I know my team looks like it sucks, but it's gonna.
Yeah.
I will guarantee you the Bruins are definitely going to be one of the bottom 4.
Yeah, like you said, you had a solid team at the start of the season. I think you even picked him to win the division.
I know.
Yeah.
I'll
And
never.
his first 2 weeks, he had 24 wins or something.
20. I think 24. 24.
Yeah, just
3
blew
and
the
5.
entire.
Or no, 24, 4, and what was it, 2? I think, yeah, 24, 4, and 2. And then he decides to rebuild. RK, I don't get it, man. Still don't get it. I told you that last week, told you that the week before, I still don't get it. But anyway, the Bruins, so they dropped down a spot into 7th place. They are now 3-9 for 6 points. They have the longest losing streak in the league right now at 8 games in a row. For the week, they went 0-2 and had. He basically sailed for the entire time. He had no worries. He could kick back in his lazy boy. The Bears easily handled the Bruins 6-1, and the Lakers kicked the crap out of them 7-0. These weren't even close.
Yeah, at the start of the season, I think you even had the Bruins winning the division, and for whatever reason, I guess with COVID scaring them and whatnot, decided to tank. And yeah, what more can you say? He's done a masterful job of it.
That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I forgot that I actually predicted him to win that division.
Yeah. So
now he might win first overall.
Yeah, might do the exact opposite. Yeah, just blew up the entire team and seems to always lose his games. So he's doing what he wants.
And don't forget, he's going to make somebody rich this year, whoever wins.
Oh, his transaction list is probably more than the actual league pot.
He had one season where he had over $100 in transactions, but he came out on the positive side.
Yeah, he won that year.
He's never won.
Okay.
But he's I think he won the CDS.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Which is something that you're still a shot at. This would be your first CDS Cup.
Yes, it would. I've also never won the league. I've been to the finals once though. So.
Yep, that is true. All right, so yeah, for whatever reason, Ryan went down. He is now solidly in the bottom 4, and I don't see him coming out of it. And no. He has 2 really good players on the bench, so he'll be strong in the playoffs. Well, he'll be stronger than he is now come playoff time. So that leads us to the last team in the Langway division. They are in the same spot that they were in last week. It's Quebec City Oilers, or Outlaws, pardon me, going 1-10-1 for 3 points. And that ties them with the Courtney Islanders for the last place in the entire no control zone right now. Rough week for JP, went 0-2. Flames killed him 6-1. And Pitter Patter, who's trying to lose, beat him 4-3.
Yeah, whenever you're losing to a team that's also tanking, it's probably a pretty rough season for you. Has he made many moves this year, really? JP?
Yeah, he's got some draft picks in that. He's got, for sure, he has 2 first-round draft picks. I know that for sure. So,
yeah.
I think he has 2 second-round picks too as well. So yeah, he made them right at the start of the year. He knew he was he knew he wasn't really going anywhere. So
yeah,
he made him at the start. Yeah, we've probably just forgotten about him now.
Yeah, there's been a lot of transactions this year.
But as of now, I would say he's another lock for the bottom 4. I think both the Bruins and the Outlaws are locked for the bottom 4. And I also think from pitter patter, maybe a lock to get in there. It's going to be tough, but they have a pretty weak lineup to throw out there.
Yeah, yeah. It'll be interesting to see where the bottom four kind of lines up this year. I feel like we don't normally have this much of a competition for the bottom four.
No,
It's normally the top four.
I noticed that, and I think it's just it took 7 years for people to finally figure out how the league works. And
Yeah.
now I see for the rest of time that there's going to be a competition both ways. I really
Yeah. I mean, hey, fair enough. It's a strong draft this year.
yeah, very strong draft.
Yeah, I think it's a good year to try and be tanking.
Well, I'll just put it to you this way: anybody who gets in the bottom four is going to be very happy. Doesn't matter what spot you finish in the bottom four. So always have that to look forward to. So that was basically the Langway division, and Nick's still looking good for a shot at first place. So let's take a look at the standings here. All right, so let's take a look at the standings in the Langway division. There you can see the Living Skies Capitals are up at 11-1, leading the league and the division. But there you are, Nick, 9-1-2 for MLJ. That leaves you only 2 points behind. You would think that at 11-1, you would have at least some sort of kind of cushion, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you'd think, but there's a lot of good teams this year.
You're like I said to you, 2 weeks you lost a tie basically.
Yeah.
Al, and that's the 2 points that are bringing you down. Otherwise, you've been toe to toe with Al the entire time, so you're definitely not out of this. And like you said, you're the only team to put up that L. So
The one blemish, yeah.
And have you looked at your schedule? Do you know if you play Al again?
Yeah, we do play at the end of the season.
I thought you
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
So that could be a huge game.
Oh yeah, that might be the decider.
And look at that in third place, Port Elgin Wolfpack, 5-5-2. Congratulations to Bo, really putting it together in this last week here to make a run for the playoffs, and he's fully in a playoff spot. And of course, right below him is the Colwood Rangers, who dropped the spot, but we've talked about that a lot. That Dean basically had 3 rough weeks, and that he's basically back up to stuff. So we both kind of expect him to be moving up the standings. Would you agree?
Yeah. I'd watch out for Dean.
And they're in 5th. Big surprise. Macaulay Mustangs. But
Yeah.
after a great week, 1-0-1. Well done, Keith. Happy for you, bud. Yeah, he's got a battle to get himself down into that bottom 4 now.
Yeah, he does for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And then, of course, right below the Mustangs is Sealand HC. And I was expecting better things out of them this week after having such a good week last week, but they've fallen dramatically. All right, as stated earlier when we were going through the divisions, the Bruinups and Suds dropped the spot down into 7th and are 3-9 and are solidly in the bottom 4 right now. So we already talked about how pretty amazing that was that he got down to the bottom 4 already.
Yeah. I mean, you look at the streak, lost 8 in a row. I mean, that's harder than winning 8 almost.
Yeah, I know, but he's not even close in the games.
No, I know he's getting blown out.
He's kicking back, relaxing. Where I'm talking about him sweating out, tanking, and that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just having a cakewalk doing it. And then, of course, in last place, the Langway division, there are the Quebec City Outlaws. And as stated earlier, they are tied with the Courtney Islanders for last place in the no control zone. And I think should probably be a lock for the bottom 4. If I was going to make any guesses, Nick, I would go with Islanders, Outlaws, Suds, and possibly Pitter Patter is your bottom 4.
Yeah, I'd say it's a decent bet. I definitely don't see Suds or Outlaws moving up. Like you said, you have some games to make up at the end of the season, so who knows when those will fall in. You could get
that could be the same for them too.
Yeah.
One of the things that I did notice that the soft tanking teams right now are playing each other, so it's almost impossible to completely tank. Like you said, Ryan Kelly getting 8 in a row, that's impressive.
Yeah, it is.
My team could. My team has a possibility of exploding at any time and winning me,
Yeah,
going 2-0 for the week, and I'm
yeah,
terrified every week. All right, man. So that takes a look care of Langley Vision and looking at their stats. You know what we're on to now. We're going to be taking a look at the old fancy stats.
oh yeah,
Fancy. All right, so it's that time. Good old fancy stats. I always love fancy stats. Last week I didn't have an honorable mention, but this week, from an outstanding week, I have to give an honorable mention. And that honorable mention is going to go to the Port Elgin Wolfpack, who are 47, 29, and 14 for 108.
yeah. That's a solid record. He's been hot the past couple of weeks, so you could see him moving up in the division and even fancy. Yeah,
He's definitely worth a playoff spot for sure. Fancy has him
yeah,
6 overall best, which is also one of the reasons why he comes to honorable mention.
yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if I fell out of the fancy this week, top 5. I
Ah,
haven't taken a look at it because I knew I was going to be on, so
okay.
I wanted a bit of surprise. But
Well, then it looks like I do have a surprise for you because guess what? You technically moved up a spot. You are now tied for
wow,
place in the fancy with 55, 30, and 5.
okay,
Yeah.
I'll
So,
take it.
yeah, you moved up. You moved up
Yeah.
because guess who dropped 3 spots? The New Brunswick Bears, who fancy was basically.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Remember how tight it was up top last week?
Yeah.
And that just
Yeah, I
shows
think.
you how quick it can go. So basically, Dan's dropped 3 spots. His record is 63, 24, and 3. So he's actually.
Okay.
Oh, I thought he had somebody tied. I guess not. I guess you're
Oh,
fifth. Sorry.
okay.
Fifth.
I'll take it.
Yeah, you've pretty much been in fifth the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big drop for Dan, 63, 24, and 3. I don't think we talked about it much, but Dan was 2-0, but he wasn't an impressive 2-0 for the week. Yeah, I'm sure in the fancy stats, a few people beat him.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure in the fantasy stats, a lot of people beat me.
Yeah.
I'm honestly surprised I'm still in 5th. I thought I was dropping out for sure, but yeah.
No, you're basically solidly in fifth because basically
Yeah.
you're 55 and 30, and Bo is 47 and 29. So you've got
Yeah.
pretty good grip in there.
Okay.
Yeah. So you should be sticking around.
That's good. Yeah.
Right.
But
What's
last week you even said, like, I think the split between me and Dan was like 9 points or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tight. So
And now you're well, it's actually 14 points.
ooh, somebody pulled ahead. We'll find out soon.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people had some good weeks. One of those
Yeah.
teams having a good week and moving up in position was the Harrison Lakers. Big surprise there, Renee. 62, 20, and 8.
Yeah, I mean, don't bet against Tom Brady. What more can you say?
What can we say about this guy?
I'm gonna start a
Lost for
petition.
words.
I'm starting a petition that Renee needs to change his name to like the Harrison Goats or something. I mean, yeah, he's got to start offering courses for how to build a fantasy team or something. He could charge a pretty penny for that.
I can't wait till we call Tom Brady and tell him about Renee's 7th win in the NC.
Yeah, Tom Brady's got 7 in what, 20 years? Renee's gonna do 7 in a row or
It'll
something.
be that record no time.
Yeah, it'll be easy.
How long are we gonna be this stupid? Just donating money to Renee.
I have no idea. I'm getting tired of it though.
Well, the funny thing about it is I pretty much analyzed his teams over the years, trying to figure out how he's doing it, and I can't figure it out.
I think he just drafts well and his prospects turn out well and he gets relatively lucky with injuries.
Yeah, the one consistency I know from Renee is basically he is all his 8 picks.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Also, if you look at his teams, he never really has like the Connor McDavid or the Austin Matthews. he's always got like the Brad, like the in a regular full 82 game season, he'll have the guys that get you like 60 to 80 points and
Like a
like
Sean
56.
Monahan or a Tachuga,
Yeah,
somebody like
yeah,
that.
or
It's a
Brad
kind
Marchand kind of
good
thing.
plus minus. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah,
whatever he does, he's done it well. That's for sure.
yeah. He does it very well.
And so basically in the same spot as they were last week is the second youngest member of No Control Zone, the Calgary Oilers at 64, 21, and 5.
Yeah, like we said, he's all in this season. He's really made the team, really turned it around from where I thought he was going to be. Yeah, hats off. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he keeps it up. Yeah, hopefully he doesn't get any injuries. Knock on wood for his sake. It doesn't look like he has very much depth, really, but yeah, we'll have to see.
I think he has 28 guys on the roster, though. So he's always going to be able to
field the full
20,
team. Yeah,
20 players every game.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
So
unless COVID hits him disgustingly hard or something, but who knows?
That's what.
Yeah.
Or the weird schedule.
Yeah.
What's going to happen. So anyway, pretty impressive for Blake to move up to second place. Blake, let us know, how old are you now? 24, 25? I met Blake when he was 19 when he came to Comox. So
Yeah.
He's a ground controller. I will definitely be getting Blake on for one of these. He should be good for a laugh.
Yeah.
Love you, B Lucky. All right, so who could that leave at the top of fantasy? We know who it is. Living Skies Capitals.
That fucker.
The man. Yeah, that fucker. You fucker. But anything can happen could you imagine if you you guys play each other, right? So let's say you win. And so that ties you up. And then Al slips somewhere by just one tie and you don't tie. So he loses the $100 for the CDS after being 11-1.
Yeah.
He's knocked out in the first round. That would just be the ultimate bite.
Yeah.
Good wishing on a better guy, Al.
Yeah, if there's ever a season where it's scary being the number one team, I think it's this season. Because we have no idea what's gonna happen.
Yeah, this is his year. Capitals came out of nowhere, man. So
yeah, they really did. His team's overachieving. I don't get it.
I thought he was at the start, but like, you know how you talk about Renee's team is well rounded, like that's plus minus. All these guys are kind of like that.
Yeah.
So basically, just to run down if I put it into point totals, our honorable mention, Port Elgin Wolfpack would be sitting at 108 points. You would be sitting at 115. And then the New Brunswick Bears at 129. The Harrison Lakers at 132. Calgary Oilers at 133. And the Capitals at 137. So
the top three are all right there.
But I even top four. So Dan's 129, so he's 8 points out. It's not much.
I fell off a bit this week, but
when you're playing 15 games a week, that's 8 points is nothing to make up. One bad week.
It's not. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's how Fancy sees it. And I know Dan's gonna bitch again because last week he bitched once again about Fancy, saying, oh yeah, now that I'm first in Fancy, you say it's because you can't predict things this year and that. Well, now that you've dropped back down to fourth spot, Dano, what do you think? What are you gonna bitch about Fancy again this week?
I think Dan's got a solid team. I mean, you look at it, and he should be one of the top 5 teams. So I think it makes sense.
He's going to, Blake's right on his tail, but odds are he's going to win at least, I think this will be his second Bossy crown.
Yeah.
Maybe even third.
Wow. Yeah.
I think Driscoll, Dan, and Renee. Sure, three only teams to win the Bossy division. So anyway, that's what we have for Fancy Stats. You know what that means. We're going to play a little bit of are you a contender or are you a?
Pretender.
You got it.
I didn't know that was coming to me.
One of my favorite times of the week. So once again, early in the season, we didn't have any contenders, but we're going to carry on. I do have one contender for you this week, and I am going to call the Colwood Rangers as a contender at 46, 39, and 5. They've got 97 points. They're under 500 at 5, 6, and 1 in the league, and they're over 500 in fancy at 46 and 39. And for 3 weeks, they didn't have half their team. And now they've got all their team back. So I can't do anything but put the Rangers in the contender category.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. Like we said, Dean got absolutely screwed over by COVID here. And he also kind of had the benefit of playing some of the better teams in the league during that 3-week run. So he's got some weak teams coming up ahead of him. And I think you could see him put together a run of like 4 or 6 wins in a row or something maybe, and get right back in there with some of the big guys.
I agree. All right, so we only got one contender. That's everybody else is pretty much slotted where they should be. So it's pretty weird. It's a very weird season, and it's not weird because of the COVID and that. It's just very weird because this never happens in fantasy stats. There's usually always 2 or 3 teams way out of position from where they should be in the actual standings in the league. Happens every year, but not this year. It's crazy.
Yeah, maybe COVID's the great equalizer. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be. Anyway, so I kind of had to stretch for 2 pretenders out there. I got 2 of them. Oh, that's 4, isn't it? 2 of them.
Smoke another doobie.
I'm going to shortly. This has been a long session with all the praising. I'll be having one very well as soon as I click you off.
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyway, so I got 2 pretenders, and this one might surprise a few people as a pretender. I'm going to go with Pitter Patter as a pretender, and I'll tell you why. Pitter Patter is the one and only team that is actually out of place. They're at 4, 7, and 1. But Fancy has them as a bottom 3 team.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Very interesting. So,
yeah.
And now with the moves that Steve made, they're even weaker. So
yeah,
they're way out of position where they should be. I don't know if you remember when I picked him for my top 4 for the bottom, I had Pitter Patter included.
Yeah.
And that would be it's just having prior knowledge
of the fancy stats and trades and everything. Yeah, that makes sense.
And of course, what would a pretender week be without Garrow from the Flying Colors in there? I can't even bring my energy to trash about it because I feel like I'm beating somebody when they're laying defenseless on the ground and I just keep hitting. But sorry to tell you, Garrow, man, you are a pretender. In the league, you are batting 500 at 6 and 6. You are in a playoff spot. Fancy has you at 35, 46, and 9.
Yeah, you would have to think with a fancy record like that. Maybe he's just gotten blessed with some good matchups at the right time and whatnot.
Well, look at Dean. Dean's 46, 39.
Yeah.
He's not in the playoffs.
Yeah. So I think we'll be seeing Dean climb up and potentially push Garrow out, but who knows?
So basically, you wouldn't argue that Garrow is still a pretender.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to go with fancy. There's just too many like games and the averages. Like, yeah.
It always works out in the long run. Usually, even though I still stick with, I think this is the toughest year ever to predict because of the unknown of the schedule and how bulking up certain teams' games. And ironically, I don't know if you ever noticed, but it usually happens on every single team. You load up on certain players on certain years, right? Like, a lot of times you'll have 3 Canucks, 2 Islanders or something like that. You know what I mean? But usually you have so if any of those teams were affected, going into the season is going to help you out a lot. If you're tanking like me, I'm hoping they don't make the games up until our regular season is over and until the playoff time.
Yeah. I'd say if you're in a playoff position like me, you're kind of also hoping the same thing. Maybe it depends. If you're Al, you probably don't want guys getting their games in right at the end of the season, trying to sneak past him if the race is still tight for the league title. But yeah, again, only time will tell.
Yeah, you betcha. All right, so that basically takes care of fantasy for the week. We had one contender as the Colwood Rangers, and Pitter Patter and Flying Colors are your two pretenders of the league. So that takes care of fantasy for the week. Up next, our games of the week. All right, it's time for games of the week, and I tell you, we got some beauties for you this week. We had some good ones last week as well, but it's just continuing on. There's some really great matchups. In our first matchup, we have our co-guest host in one of the games, Moves Like Jagger, is going to be playing off against the Calgary Oilers. Our two young guns of the league are going to go head-to-head. They're both second in the division. They're both up there in the top 5 of the fantasy stats. Let's take a look how you're doing here, Nick. Looks like 5-2.
Yeah, I seem to be doing okay so far. I think Klingberg got a 5-minute. So
gotta love that.
Oh yeah, and
did you say Klingberg?
Yeah, John Klingberg from Dallas. Yeah.
I got him in my other league, and I'm trying to tank in that league too. Not that Klingberg.
And then if you look at the save percentage in 960. But I actually think I lost that game.
What?
So, yeah.
Who's your goaltenders?
Khudobin.
That was Khudobin. He had a fantastic game. That was there was an empty netter scored there, so he only gave up 2 goals, and he was
he was getting peppered, I guess. I mean, in 960 save percentage, and you lose the game.
But
it doesn't happen too often.
You got to be happy with the difference right now of 80 points between save percentage. That could long run, and you're both even at points. So, goaltender points. So, looks like it's sitting pretty for you right now. But don't forget, I told you that Blake started off really slow last week too, and gangbusters at the end. So you guys are close in points, penalty minutes. Yeah,
right there. Yeah,
should be a solid game, and I can tell you for a fact I will be keeping an eye on it. Our second game of interest, and I normally only do 2, is I got to put this one in there. I've got the Living Skies Capitals and the Calgary Oilers making it for their second game into the games week. Normally I only do 2 games, but there's so many games of interest this week. I've done some more.
That's going to be another great game. I was also putting up a 960 save percentage. I don't know if you got the win from that or not.
There might be a game going on right now.
Wow.
It's freaking Drieger again. This guy's on fire for him. He's a waiver wire pickup.
Yeah, wow. Good pickup.
Who's he thrown on the bench to play? Oh, he's Holtby.
That's a very fair bench right now.
So he's on. Oh, what's this? Anderson's injured.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, that's not good.
Okay. He should be back soon.
You never know with these things, though. You never know.
Yeah.
Geez, big surprise. Thornton's injured again.
Yeah, he was having a hot season, though.
So Al should get. He will get another goal, half a goal tonight with the win tie for goaltenders. All right. Normally, I only go with 2 games of the week is what I was trying to do, but I told you earlier there were so many interesting matchups. I figured I had to put the New Brunswick Bears in against Moves Like Jagger. It's kind of interesting because we got the old Kaiser up top. Yeah, I said old Kaiser. There's going to be some drums for that when I edit, I'll tell you right now. So this is setting up the drums. There's some old codger in first place playing a young gun over in the Bossy division who's in second place, and you're playing him. So basically, the Oilers are drawing a really tough schedule this week, as are you.
Yeah, we both got 2 of the top 5 teams in the whole fantasy stats and top 4 teams in general, I guess, in the league standings, really. It'll be interesting to see where all the teams line up after this one. I think it'll shake the league up a lot, or has the potential to.
Uh-oh. Little trouble for you with Dan. You're having a harder fight with Dan.
Yeah.
Shutout tonight, so that's going to be 4 points.
Yep. Yeah. His
Oh man,
goaltending always
you
seems
got
to
a
be solid.
961 too. That sucks. But
Yeah.
that only means that you can still win the save percentage.
Yeah. At 961, unfortunately, it's not nice to get the loss with that, but
Yeah, no saying you will. Like I had in the other league, I got Sorokin had a shutout, and so I was sitting at 1,000 save percentage for about 6 days, and then Carey Price came in for that game where he got bombed by Toronto,
yeah.
and my team goaltending or save percentage at the end was 898. All week long it was 1,000.
Yeah, that hurts.
So it can drop in a hurry. So with you being up there high in the 961, you got a good chance to catch them there. Yeah,
it's a decent place to start. It's going to be a really interesting week. See where all the teams line up. Who's Al's second game? Flames. Okay, so not as interesting.
Yeah.
But
so basically, you drew the Oilers and the Bears, 2 tough assignments: a first place team in the Bossy and a second place team in the Bossy. And and the Caps are also playing the Oilers. So what is the Caps' other game? Did I miss that?
It's the Flames. They're on the far left.
That's what you just said.
Yeah.
So, but look, Wes has got him.
Yeah.
Early. Al's
That's close though.
I'd fire Al's goaltending.
Yeah, I hope he's a rough one. You got him for another 3 years too, I think.
Yeah.
3 or 4. Yeah. I mean, I have Cliff for the next 3 years, so that's not ideal, but
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right, we got another interesting game, and this is on the different side of the spectrum. This is the last game, the games of the week, and basically, it's a wild card fight. We got the Rangers going against the Flying Colors. So last week, the Flying Colors had to play the Wolfpack. They lost, even though they played well. They lost. This is another big one for Flying Colors. They need to beat the Rangers this week, and it looks like right now they're tied at 3 apiece.
Yeah, I think Flying Colors needs to beat Rangers, and Rangers need to beat Flying Colors. So Dino really needs a big bounce back week. It'll be interesting to see what his team puts up now that they're pretty much all should be back in full action.
Well, it's kind of interesting. Both of them, their second games are against pushovers. So the Mustangs are playing Flying Colors, and Pit-Pat is playing the Rangers. So basically, that game's huge. That's just a head-to-head go at
it. Yeah. So they should both have a pretty easy win. And then just whatever happens with this game is going to be a huge decider for playoff spots and everything.
I agree. Well, that's what we got for games of the week, and that's what we got for you this week. I want to thank you very much for coming out this podcast. I hope everybody got a chance to meet the Nick that I know. Always loved you, you know that. Loved you since day one. And so I hope that love spreads throughout our league with you. People know a little bit more about you now. And they also know that you're frozen, but we'll let you come back and say something for the end here. So I'll just hold off now. I want to thank you. I hope you had a good time, even though
it was fun.
Little frustrating with the internet, but hey, what the hell?
Yeah, it is what it is.
It was great. I'm really happy that everybody got to know you because, like I said before, I think you're one of the people that the rest of the league really doesn't know. I kind of look at Bo in that same category. I think Ryan Kelly is the only one who knows Bo. So
it's 9 o'clock.
It's nice to get you guys to connect up a little bit better and make things easier when dealing with each other for sure.
Yeah. I'll throw my phone number in too. I feel like half the issue with trades that I have is like guys don't necessarily think my valuation may be correct or something. And then they'll just reject it or something. And so I'll throw my phone number in the comments or something. And
I think one of the problems with but you still need the reject if you're going to reject. The one thing I hate about the rejecting is there's some trades that offers that I get are really kind of out of line, but there are things that I could do, but I can see that that person's so far off with their trade that they may
It's
not.
just never gonna work. Yeah.
It's not going to work. And like, for example, like when I get somebody I have no interest in trading, and I always have players like that, I just immediately no.
I mean, yeah, there's no chance I'm trading Hughes.
Yeah. Did you know about that system on the league web page there when I put all these videos on? Did you know that you can message somebody in one of those things and it will come up on your page, but only you and him will see him? If you go down to the left corner, you'll see where it says everyone or
Oh yeah.
So if you put in the certain person's name, the only person who's going to see that is that other person.
Okay.
So it'll be on both yours and his webpage. So that gives you a good place to be able to do a little negotiating. And it's not like you're fucking up everybody else's time because they're they can't see you anyway. So it looks like Nick is froze up for one last time. When we come back, I'm gonna just get him to do a sign out here for you guys. Okay, so basically I was just telling everybody once you froze and that how nice it was for me to actually get to see you, because I actually haven't seen you in a couple of years now. So
yeah, it's been a while. Yeah,
it was nice. I mean, we text and everything. Now it's just not the same. So it's been for me. It's been really nice to see you again.
Yeah, it's always good to see you too. Yeah, it's good to be on the podcast. And
yeah, I hope you had a good time. Like I said, it was a little frustrating with the internet tonight, but hey, shit happens.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't cause you too many issues with editing and stuff. But
this is going to be my most chopped up video by a mile.
Yeah,
because remember I stopped pausing because I forget.
Fuck it.
Smoke another one, Terry, but I will be shortly. Yeah. Anyway, Nick, I want to thank you very much for joining me on the podcast tonight. You've been an awesome co-host. Good luck in the rest of the season for you. You're definitely one of the competitors for the very first ever Bremen Cup.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that one shakes up. Hopefully I can be the one to win it, but yeah, who knows? All right. Hope your tank goes well.
I do too. I'm sweating bullets now. I'm sweating bullets.
Oh, I know.
It's terrible. I didn't even look at my scores when we brought on the academic scores. I'm so nervous.
Praying to God you lose.
Yeah. Sure. All right, Nick, you take care, and to everybody else out there, have a good week, and I hope the puck bounces your way, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Take it easy, everybody, and peace out. All right, Nick, that's it.
Yeah, it was too bad. Yeah.